Hello, everyone. Today I'd like to talk about fear and starting your business. Many of you are wanting to start your business or even continue in your business, but fear stops you. So we need to talk about how to overcome this fear, how to move past this fear so that you can start or continue to grow your profitable business. The first thing that I want you to understand is how the mechanism of fear works in our lives. So it's fear is a normal feeling, is a normal primal feeling. It's a very normal primal feeling. And actually, fear keeps us safe. So that's why we have it. So most people have fear. Probably there are some people who don't have fear, but they might be like sociopaths. I'm not sure. But if you're feeling fear, likely you're like the rest of us and totally normal. So fear is the feeling that kicks in when your body anticipates a change in your environment. So a change that could threaten your ability to survive. And that automatically is going to cause a fear feeling in most people. So you have to learn to recognize this feeling and actually decide if this change in your life is actually going to be life threatening, which is what the fear feeling is, the alarm bell that's ringing in your head, or if it's something that the change is worth the outcome, so that the change is an investment that's going to be worth it in the end. So fear is essentially a feeling that keeps us alive. And as soon as your body has figured out how to be in a stabilized environment, then the feeling of fear goes away. You figured out how to survive, and then there's no longer that fear feeling. So there are a few numbers. There are five. I'm gonna in this po in this video I'm gonna talk about five different common feelings of fear that we might encounter or feel as people who are starting or even growing their business. The number one is a fear of failure. Number two is fear of success. Number three is the fear of rejection. Number four is fear of being judged. And the fifth one that I'm going to talk about today is the fear of financial insecurity. Now, all these feelings are grounded in something. As I spoke before, they're grounded in the idea that your body might feel like there's a threat to its survival. So immediately you'll have a feeling of fear. So when you're starting your business, if you've had a regular job, likely you're going to have a change that may result in failure. So your body is essentially saying, hey, I don't want to start this business because what if we fail? And that's a scary feeling, and that is threatening to our survival. So I'm going to incapacitate you with a feeling of fear of failure. Now, I want to say to you, failure is going to happen. Failure is part of success. It is a stepping stone to your success. So you must be willing to live with failure. You know that whole quote, you're going to need to essentially embrace failure and learn from it. So what did you do wrong? What went wrong? Whenever you have a project that you've done or a marketing strategy that you launched or employed or any plan that you feel failed, you should just revisit it and figure out what went wrong. So in this way, you should embrace failure as a learning strategy so you know what not to do next. And it really actually hones your skill and makes you better. So that's actually how you would embrace fear of failure. Look at it as any time you failed, it's really a learning strategy, a teaching moment where you teach yourself how to be successful. And think of those failures as stepping stones to success. Really, you only fail if you stop doing it. So sometimes you need to reevaluate. Sometimes you need to go under a problem, over a problem, or around the problem. Sometimes you need to reframe the problem. But consider failure a teaching moment. Another problem or another fear that people have that's quite common from in entrepreneurial circles is actually the fear of success. Some people say stuff like, well, that's the whole point. I want to be successful. But when you really boil it down, there might be a fear that you might actually be successful. And the reason that it's scary is because what if you get a bunch of customers all at once and you can't provide them with your good or service? What happens if you can't keep up with the momentum that you've started in getting the clients and selling the products that you have? There is a fear there that potentially, you might actually be successful and not be able to keep up with it. Another aspect of feelings being successful is you might be rejected by your innermost circle of friends and support and family of your family, and you might be rejected by your innermost. Another problem with success, another fear that people have with success is that you might actually be rejected by loved ones. So you may get an increase in haters. So that actually is a fear because, well, now you won't have the same support group that you had. So there are a lot of reasons to so this is a way in which to understand a fear of success. So how do you combat that? The best way to do that is to create yourself a support group that is going to encourage you as an entrepreneur and be on your side. Also, if, for example, another thing to consider, another way to combat fear of success is to actually develop yourself a system that you can systematically run through that's going to be giving you continuous success, and that's just stick with your system. So then you can make alterations in your system if you need to slow the flow of customers. Maybe you can put them on waiting lists. Maybe you can service them in other ways, but have a plan B that helps you if you somehow get inundated with a lot of customers or a lot of clients. You can charge more. Actually, the fear of success is unfounded if you have more customers and clients, because that means that you could definitely charge more for your product or your services. So consider that as a solution to having success. So there's no need to be afraid of that. Some people have the fear of not having a good idea to start their business or a good business idea to implement. And with that, I would say consider that there are many business ideas that are good, and there are probably fewer that are good for you. The first thing I would encourage you to do is to figure out the things that you love that will help motivate you, and consider the things that you actually have skills to do. Then I also want you to consider what the world needs and what the world will pay for. This is the idea of ikigai. So when you figure out what people will pay for and you marry that idea with what you like to do and also your skill set, then you can more easily come up with a business idea. There are also lots of lists that you can use to help you come up with a business idea. In fact, I'm going to have a link below that you can click on and get a few suggestions that might be helpful to you. The fourth fear people have is the fear of being judged. And I can tell you absolutely for certain you will be judged. So you might as well nix that fear, because it's going to happen, and you're just going to have to figure out how to deal with it, because you will be judged. You'll be judged by your closest friends. You'll be judged by your family because you're not the person that you used to be. You're going to have to create yourself into a new person who's going to be a successful and profitable entrepreneur. And that is not the person that your closest friends and family members used to know. So they're going to judge you as being different from who you are. So they are going to judge you. Some of these people, some of your closest friends and family will be supportive of you, and that is great. And some of them won't be supportive of you. So keep that in mind, because everybody is not an entrepreneur. They may not understand what it takes to start and grow a profitable business, and they might be judgmental and less than supportive. The best thing to do in this situation the best thing to do in this scenario is to build yourself a support group of other business owners and other supportive entrepreneurs, so that you're in a group of people who understand what you're going through and can help answer your questions and provide you with support that maybe maybe your family and friends aren't able to. You can hire, in this case, when in seeking support for your business, you might consider hiring a consultant like myself, or you may join an entrepreneurial group or a group of business owners. And I also run a group that supports business owners. I also run a group that supports business owners. You can see the links below. You can see the links below. I invite you to check out the group that I run, and also give me a call and we can talk shop for an hour and see if I can be of service to you or maybe answer some of your questions. And lastly, there might be a fear of financial insecurity. Now, this makes perfect sense, especially if you have a regular 9 to 5 job. You've had the regularity of a paycheck coming in every month or 2 weeks or whatever regular frequency. And so you're able to survive very predictably. So when you quit your job, then you will have feelings of insecurity, because your unconscious mind is telling you, hey, we may not survive because we may not be able to take care of our basic needs. So that's a normal feeling of feeling financially insecure when you have quit your job. So one way to combat this is to ensure, if you quit your job, that you have more than a year's worth of money that you can pay all of your bills and take care of yourself. In addition, maybe don't quit your job right away. Maybe wait till you have regular income from your business before you quit your job, and that will take care of that fear of financial instability. And that will take care of that fear of of finan- of financial insecurity. Having the awareness of what fear is, that feeling, and where it comes from, and how it actually helps you, will help you get over it and overcome it. It's helpful to understand the origin of the feeling so that you can work through it and use it to your advantage, because it's a feeling that's normal, natural, and is going to be there. So you're going to have to figure out how to deal with it. The best way to deal with these types of feelings is to get yourself a support group. As I said before, I have a support group. I have a group for people who want to start and grow their own businesses. It's also good to, it might also be good for you. It might also be good for you to hire a consultant. That is a more private way, a more personal way to get you to your goals. All in all, whatever you do, keep moving forward, keep working on it, keep going. And that is actually the best way to start and grow a profitable business, even while you're scared. I hope this has been helpful, and take good care.